and we are joined today by U.S. Senator David Vitter. And you've got a problem in that you guys haven't had complete access to what's in the full paperwork. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. There are important side agreements that go to the heart of verification, obviously a big, big issue, that we're not allowed to read. It's absolutely ridiculous. The most important is between the IAEA, the UN atomic arms entity that regularly verifies this sort of stuff, and Iran. And that is a very important side agreement, the one that includes these apparently ridiculous provisions that Iran gets to choose its own inspectors for its most sensitive military site and essentially controls the collection of samples that are sent into the IAEA. We don't get to read that entire agreement, even though we have to vote on this deal.
How do we even I'm so mystified, Senator, about why the president didn't make this deal more favorable to his own country.
Well, what I was concerned about from the very beginning, listening to him, seeing his actions, was that he was just desperate for a deal from the very beginning. And he gave out all of those signals. And if I could tell, I'm sure the Iranians could tell as well. It was very, very obvious to me. And, you know, when anybody is desperate for a deal in any situation, you usually get one certain outcome, a bad, bad deal for that person. I think that's exactly what happened in this situation.
Congress passes the legislation which would kind of undermine the deal. The president's going to veto it. And what happens then?
Well, then we would vote to try to override the veto. Now, according to announced votes from Democrats, we couldn't do that. But look, there's still an important discussion and an important debate going on. The American people still have a big opportunity to weigh in.
We should call our senators, our congressmen, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in Louisiana, look, if you're against the deal, focus on one person, Cedric Richmond. He's the only probable yes vote for the deal. So if you're in Louisiana, focus on one person, Congressman Cedric Richmond.
Let's shift gears to the governor's race. You qualified this week to run for governor.
Yeah.
Many consider you the front runner. Give me your, and I know this is a stupid media question, top 3 priorities.
Well, getting the state out of the ditch immediately with the budget situation, that's the most immediate challenge. We need to stabilize the budget, not just with Band-Aids and Scotch tape and yarn, but with fundamental reform for the long term. That's why I have said I would immediately call a special legislative session focused exclusively on stabilizing the budget through really fundamental spending reform and tax reform. So that's our most immediate challenge. It's not our most important long term, and our most important long term is education, pre-K through 12 and higher ed. And I would get us out of Common Core, out of the PARCC test, but have strong standards and rigor and accountability. And then third, it's not third in importance, but it's certainly in the top tier. Third is jobs in the economy. We need to pick up economic growth. We need to pick up jobs. I do that in a number of ways. Skills training, give Louisianians the skill sets they need to walk into good-paying jobs, which do exist to some extent. Infrastructure is important. We need to build that capacity, including finishing I-49 North. And we need to fix our lawsuit environment. It's the second worst in the country. It drives a lot of good jobs out of Louisiana.
We have a huge, empty General Motors plant here. There has been a lot of accusations about this is a bad deal we're in. We could have had Land Rover here. Are you going to get in the middle of that? Can you help solve that for Shreveport jobs?
Well, I'm going to get in the middle of any big economic development issue like that, so the answer is yes. And in fact, in our plan, we have a concrete, detailed plan, Together Louisiana Strong. It's all at davidvitter.com. You can go to the job creation chapter, and right there in the plan is a proposal that's directly relevant, which is to develop big sites ready for big manufacturers or other facilities. That is a significant lure and a significant factor in getting those big job opportunities to states and we need to do that in Louisiana. Another such site is Avondale that I'm working on in southeast Louisiana, but the GM plant would be a natural target for that sort of focused activity in northwest Louisiana.
Do you have an opinion about Elio Motors?
I've been working with them at the federal level, trying to pass some rule changes that would dramatically help them pursue their business model. So I'm very hopeful about it. I know they have some hurdles still to overcome, but I've gotten several presentations, and I'm still hopeful about it.
You have launched a couple of ads I've seen directed at Scott, Angelle, Jay Darden. It appears, with their tax guys, et cetera. Did you feel necessary to go in that direction?
Yeah, that is not me. I did not do that. My campaign didn't do that. That's an independent group that I have no communication with.
That's the Fund for Louisiana's Future?
Correct.
Has your campaign donated to that group?
My Senate account did, yes, but I am not allowed to communicate with that group. I can't tell them what to do, what not to do. That's strictly prohibited. And, of course, we're following not just the letter of the law, but the full spirit of the law.
Would you rather see them go in a more positive angle? I mean, if you had your wish list and you could say, hey, guys, let's keep this.
I'd rather everybody go in a more positive angle. I'd rather the trial lawyers who are announcing they're going to spend millions quite viciously attacking me, I'd rather them do something more productive. But, of course, they're just trying to fight for their wallets, which are already bulging. So I'd rather everybody go in a more positive direction.
That is going to be that's my worry, that this is going to get dirty and nasty. And when I see those, I think, this could get ugly.
Yeah, well, Aaron, it is getting ugly, including from groups like I just mentioned. There's this very well-heeled trial lawyer group that is throwing millions to attack me, and they're very upfront about it. They seem to be proud about it. They're some of President Obama's biggest donors in the state. They certainly don't like my agenda for cleaning up lawsuit abuse because they directly profit from that, and they're apparently going to throw millions attacking me in a very vicious way. But look, I'm going to control what I can control, right, and that's my campaign, and that is about a positive agenda and a very detailed, concrete agenda. Again, we have a plan in a lot of detail. It's called Together, Louisiana Strong, our blueprint for building a brighter future. It's at davidvitter.com. I'd love for listeners to go there, see what they think, and respond. There are easy ways to respond by email and otherwise right there at the website.
I have a confession to make to you real quickly.
Sure.
The first ever time I've ever dreamed about a politician was last night, and it was you.
Oh, man, this is too much information already. I think you should.
No, it wasn't.
I think you should stop there.
It wasn't anything like that. It was you wouldn't return my damn phone call, and so I'm glad you called this morning because I was worried. I was worried you weren't going to call because I was like,
well, you knew that couldn't be in reality because I'm always calling in on time.
Well, we appreciate your time this morning, U.S. Senator David Vitter. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
You bet.